Hi everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS in English. My name is Margdarshan Sarathi, MXND 115th course and qualified civil services in 2012. Now I know that this is the time period that is the most weary and worrisome as well. And there is the panic as well that happens during this point of time when the prelims is quite near, and ultimately we lose the sleep, and that is why I'm here in front of you and I'm telling you that there are certain things that you need to understand if you want to excel in your prelims 2026. Now, when it comes to the prelims examination of 2026, it will be conducted on 24th of May. And I'm here just to make you understand there is the complete neurochemical understanding that you need to have or you need to develop so that you can excel in your upcoming prelims examination. Now, when it comes to our brain, so our brain is the major trigger point when it comes to the panic that happens. And there is the prefrontal cortex that governs our complete decision making, even the planning and the logical elimination that is under the pressure. Now, what happens during the stress is that there is the hormone or the cortisol level that increases, and ultimately that impairs the long-term memory retrieval, and even it causes the mental blocks. So you must have seen that there are lots of times that there are mental blocks and you are not able to actively recall what you have studied. So that is because of the cortisol surge that happens. And over here it is very important that during this point of time you should not engage into passive rereading of the familiar material that is there, because it will create the false confidence without building the reliable recall that should be there. So even if you are right now, revising, so just revise and then close the books and then please do the active recall. That is very, very important at this point of time. Now, what are the things that the toppers, they will not be doing, and what you should not also do during this period of time? Now, this is a time period of, where you'll see that there will be surge in the Telegram channels and even in the Instagram, that you will see that this is the last moment PDF that you must revise, or this is the last moment things that you should do. Now, this is very important that this period of the time is like, you will be feeling like, oh my God, have I covered everything? Have I, is there anything that is left or anything that I have to cover at this point of time, very crucial point of time. So this, increases the anxiety level. This increases the stress and even the panic in your heart. So this is where we are all searching for the new materials to fill the minor knowledge gaps that we feel productive. All right, but it is not the same thing. It isn't that you are filling that minor gaps which are there. Now, what happens over here is that when you start going through these PDFs or these materials, so these are the unfamiliar resources in the final phase, and it will consume your precious working memory, as well as it will leave very less capacity of your brain for the actual retrieval that should be there when you are sitting for the prelims examination. Now, what is the topper rule? They enforce a complete strict moratorium on the new materials at this point of time. Multiple revision of the existing short notes is only the thing that you should do, and it is always the best for when it comes to the fresh PDF. So please do not go through the fresh PDF and just revise your short notes that are there. At the same time, it is very important that when it comes to the CSAT, this is our casual afterthought, and we treat it like that. Now, over here, it is very important that we assume that there will be school level maths that will be there, and reading will be enough without the structured practice that is there. Now, this is very important, because what you need to understand is that if you fail in your CSAT examination, so your high GS score, they will get entirely wasted. So this is again very, very important that you should give at least 45 to 60 minutes daily on the ratios, averages and reading comprehension, which is non-negotiable for clearing your CSAT examination. The next important thing is that you should understand that there is the passive rereading and the revision policy that is there. Now, what happens is over here, it will, you will skim the familiar pages. All right, and ultimately it will feel like the revision builds, but there is no retrieval strength that is there. All right, you will try, you'll be going through the material and it will feel like that, oh my God, I am missing something, or I am not able to revise or recall things. So it is very important that right now, during this period of time, you should use the flashcard, self-testing and summarization, because that will force your brain to retrieve under the effort. And also, you should link the static concepts to the current affairs so that you can be, or you will be able to interlink things, and that will strengthen your memory pathways as well. Now, another important thing that you have to understand over here is that during the previous months, all right, either 1 month or 2 months, you must have given lots of mock test. And ultimately what happens is, if you do not score well in your mock examination, so that also builds up a pressure. And we treat the mock scores as the final verdicts, but that is not what it is. The mock tests are just like a GPS. It tells you where you are and not what is the direction or where you will finish. So it is very important that you should utilize the mock test only to learn about your shortcomings, about what you need to work upon, and that is what you have to analyze right now in these last moments. All right, you have to revise the topic if there had been any conceptual error during those mock tests, as well as you have to build a checklist so that you do not commit any of the silly mistakes in your prelims examination. And also, it is very important that when you are giving the mock test, you must analyze how to develop the elimination technique so that you will eliminate the guesswork that is there and there is less error while guessing the right answer in your prelims. There is also very important because when it comes to the the study schedule, so we all have different schedules when it comes to studies. Some of you may wake up in the morning at around like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and then you must be studying. Some of you, they must be investing the night time into the studies. Now it is very important that during this point of time, what we think is that we should cut the sleep and ultimately we should do the final revision, and especially in the final weeks it happens so much. But this causes the chronic fatigue that is there and even the executive dysfunction, and this is just opposite of the exam day readiness that we want right now. Now there is very important that you must align your circadian rhythm and you should maintain a proper 7 to 8 hour sleep cycle. Either you are the night owl and you were studying in the night time, or either you were studying in the morning time. Now you have to align your circadian rhythm, and ultimately you have to practice the mocks at the official exam time slots itself so that you can synchronize your peak alertness with the actual test window that is there. And that is how you have to synchronize your brain to the actual test that is there. Now, at this point of time, you must be, browsing through the Instagram. You must be, comparing yourself with the other, and that also builds the comparison anxiety. So that is again one thing that you do not have to do, and you do not have to monitor the peers or scrolling. That will forum or that will trigger a complete threat response, and it will burn your cognitive fuel as well. So that is something that you cannot afford at this point of time when you are so much near to your dream of the success. All right, so over here it is very important that when it comes to spending the cognitive resources watching the room, it is rather than the processing questions is a silent performance killer. And right now you should not be comparing or you should not be scrolling reels. That is very, very important. So what you need to do is you need to limit your social media and keep an evidence diary of the personal wins to anchor the self-efficacy and even to block the comparison spirals as well. And this evidence diary, it will also act as a self-motivation for you to excel into the prelims examination. At the same time, when it comes to the examination hall, so we know that there is a complete volatile hall dynamics and even the panic guessing as well that happens at the last moment. Just, when the exam is about to finish. So in the last 15-20 minutes, what we do is that we just guess, and that panic guessing, it actually cost us the negative marks as well. So there is a proper 3-round strategy that you should adopt while attempting your prelims examination. There should be first round, which is the short shots that you must attempt. These are those high confidence questions that you should attempt where you are short about the answer, and that should be done within the first 45 to 60 minutes. All right, there is second round, that is the logical elimination. Over here you have to return to the borderline questions which were there. All right, so in the borderline questions, you have to apply the structured elimination to narrow your options, and then you have to move ahead. And then there should be the third round, that should be only controlled guessing. This is the final round for the calculated attempts, and never let one hard question derail your complete paper. Now, you must have heard about Roger Federer. He was world number one tennis player. And when it comes to Roger Federer, he had accepted the imperfect moments. And we all know that there are imperfect moments. We fail as well sometimes, but at the same time, you have to understand that one difficult question that is there in your examination, it should not derail your complete paper, and it should not define your complete paper as well. So your response is important, because that will define whether you will clear your prelims or not. And that is again very, very important, that you have to understand that in these 3 rounds you have to attempt your paper and you have to excel in your examination. So this is the complete path to the strategic equilibrium, where these are the 5 disciplines that will separate the toppers, that is you, from the others as well. The first one is that you have to consolidate, and you do not have to collect right now. You just have to browse through what you have read up to now, and that is the only thing that you have to do right now. At the same time, you have to secure the CSAT LD, and you have to trade paper 1 with a consistent daily respect right now, and as well as you have to audit your practice as well. Whatever you have done, the mistakes that you have committed in the mock test, you have to analyze it, and you have to sync your biology. Again, that is very, very important. You have to sync your circadian rhythm as well, and you have to maintain the internal focus as well. You have to protect your emotional energy so that it is not a burden on your cognitive abilities. So that is, or these are my final suggestions to you. I'll be there and I'll be telling you more about your upcoming prelims and how you can manage your anxiety, and also what all things need to be done. So this is very important, that if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe, as well as if you are appearing for the prelims 2027, then we have the GS Foundation course resolution, where the batch have just started. So you can enroll into the batch, and you can use the code, that is BRS Live, for the maximum discount. And this is not just for UPSC 2027. If you are preparing for 2028 as well, you can join the course right now. So that would be all in this video. Thank you very much, guys, for being here with me. Plus, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, enable the notification, and as well as give the like, as well as share this with your friends who are preparing for the civil services. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care, and Jai Hind.